Hello and welcome to the AusComX Show. It's Wednesday night and we are here to talk to our special guest. This week's special guest is Mickey Scott. And we're going to be talking about, well, his new comic and his Kickstarter that he has going on. So let's not muck around and let's get to the Viking fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, here he is.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Thanks
Absolute
for coming
pleasure.
along.
I'm still
All right.
reeling from that intro music. That was hot.
Rock and roll, bro. Rock and roll.
That last
all
riff
good
with the
magic,
rising
that is.
triplets.
Yeah, man. It's all about the guitars and the
Oh,
hard rock
juicy.
life and the flat cap. That's what it's all
Yeah,
about.
flat cap life.
All right, so let's get straight into it. Thanks for coming along, Mickey. We're going to fire the questions at you and get to know you a little bit more and the project that you've currently got running on Kickstarter.
Oh,
So why don't you introduce yourself a little and tell us about when and how you first got involved in comics and comic creation?
okay. All right. That's a bit of a long question. I am Mickey Scott. I'm on Instagram as the Mad Bastard, which correctly pronounced is "You Mad Bastard."
Got it.
Geez, first involved in making comics. I read comics when I was a kid. My brother was into them. I fell in love with internal art. Covers have never interested me. I loved reading the internal art, and I would always just copy it. I don't know what happened. A few years back, I was in that place that everyone gets to in their life where they're just you don't know what you're going to do, and you got to try and figure it out. And I've always drawn things and I've always read comics, and I started going, well, the money in the industry is in coloring. So I started there. I started trying to do colors, and I wasn't very good at it.
Right.
And so I just dove right in the deep end and was like, all right, how do I draw sequentials? And I just started doing it. And the first stuff was bad. And then I figured some stuff out. I read some books and it got better. And I tried putting myself out there for writers to give me scripts and we could collaborate and come up with a book together. But just being a newcomer, I couldn't connect with people whose ideas gelled with mine. Let's put it that way. And so I just went, I'll just write my own scripts. I'll write my own stories. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And that's how we got to Sheild Breaker.
Right.
Nice.
So let's unpick that a bit. So
Okay.
art first,
Yeah.
and originally going into colors because of the money, because they're all the colorists are pimping it up. They're all wearing the fancy hats and such.
Well, they're the ones who can always secure work. They're like drummers in a band.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a colorist.
Yeah.
And like
Gotcha.
writers and pencilers are a dime a dozen. You can find them everywhere.
I've got
Everyone's
3 down
struggling.
there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. My dogs do it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So there's a very practical kind of initial look at, okay, if I want to get involved in this industry, that's the area where you're always going to have work. There's always going to be plenty going on. But the appeal for you has been more, I love the sequential art. I want to get into this. I want to know how to do it. And now, all right, I'm going to write. I'm going to do the whole shebang. And I'm going to stick it on Kickstarter. And I'm going to fund it because we are funded. And we're at... I don't know percentages. More than 100%.
More than 100 is what we want to say.
100 and something percent.
23% over.
123. Oh,
All right.
math.
I think if I'm working it out right, my maths isn't that great.
Very
Well,
good. Okay. So we'll get into the artwork a little bit more, because the artwork is really amazing. What I wanted to know is how long from deciding to, all right, I want to do sequential art, to where you are now. How long was that journey? And please don't say a year, because that will make me cry on the inside about
No. Gosh, it's somewhere between 3 and 5 years, but I couldn't honestly tell you, because 5 years might be when I decided I wanted to do colors.
Right.
I reckon it's between 3 and 5. And
Jeez, that's still a small time frame. Had you done a lot of art prior to that, or not so much?
I've had a pencil in my hand since I worked out how to hold one.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
That's basically what my parents will tell you. But there's been long lulls, and up until the point where I decided I was going to do this, I wasn't drawing every day. That point when I decided I'm going to get into comics was when I went, right, there's a pencil in my hand every day. Boom. And there's a lot to be said for intentional practice.
Yeah.
This is what I'm not doing well. How do I do it?
Okay.
Yeah. Sort of locating the areas where you need to improve, and then just bashing away and getting better, and then sort of honing your craft, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
So are you saying that in 3 to 5 years you learnt sequential? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I learned how to storyboard and tell a story. I read a book.
Okay. I don't know if Morgan is, but I am crying inside. I may even start crying outside. 3 to 5 years, that's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
I don't even know
not
visual images.
Do you, Cecil? Do you want to throw up some of the art while we're chatting, so people
yeah,
can see why we're a little bit teary about that short time frame? Here's some of the artwork that we're talking about, because it is very good. It is very, very good.
It's awesome.
So
it goes beyond good.
I can make it worse.
You can.
This is like, so I'm now working on the 3rd edition of what this stuff is part 1 of. This is from part 2.
Right.
So when I go back to those early pages of part 1, I go, this is awful. I can do so much better than this. This is just rubbish.
Yeah.
I think every artist does that, to be honest. Everyone I've talked to, always, they go back to the first panel of the comic, or the first comic they did, or the first page they did of the one they're currently working on, and go, I can do it so much better now.
Yeah. The rule is you're not allowed to. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah.
Like, you're not allowed to. If you can do it better, you have to do the next thing better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's just put it out there as well. Certainly from my perspective, it's not just artists. It's writers and musicians and all that sort of stuff as well. But it's also writers that work with artists that early on maybe pick artists that they're not quite sure about and everything. And as you get along, you realize, oh, wow, I need a real quality artist for this sort of thing. It's the same sort of journey.
I've experienced that subcontracting to color artists.
Yeah.
The guy I'm working with right now, I'm very happy with Kevin Anthony De Castro. He's a legend. But, on my way to him, I went through some people that were not right for the job.
Yeah. And I suppose that's the difference between I'm just putting something out there to, all right, I'm now putting this thing on Kickstarter, I'm creating this, I'm basically publishing this thing, which means now I have to contract out to people to do the bits that I either don't want to waste the time doing, or I can't do, or whatever the case may be, which is a bigger job to do. How are you finding the stuff outside of the actual artwork and the story that you've written and put together? How you find the rest of the whole process?
Daunting and developing. So one good thing is writing your pitch submissions to publishers. That has changed my writing techniques and style drastically for the better.
Cool.
The concept of trying to summarize your idea into an elevator pitch really sharpens up the story. Yeah, Dave. It sharpens up the story, and then trying to tell a publisher why should you be interested in this? Why is it good? Why will a reader be interested in it? Really brings to light, why am I writing this story? What am I actually trying to say? And why do I think it's a good thing to say? And that makes your storytelling much stronger. You've got a much clearer start and finish, and why, when you have understood what is it that I want to say to my reader.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so digging a little bit more into Sheild Breaker. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the the elevator pitch, or the main sort of plot points, and then what was the kind of impetus to get the whole ball? Why that kind of Norse style? But yeah, let's start with, why don't you tell us a little bit about the story itself? We'll go.
Cool. All right. So starting with the plot, the book that is on Kickstarter right now is part 1, or technically even part prequel.
Right.
It is very much I tried to create something that was in the same literary vein as the original sagas. So trying to emulate that writing style. So it is really the quintessential hero character. His king's breast and bravest man is obsessed with being the best of all time, and so bonds his spirit to his sword. That is the story of part 1. It's his journey to how he goes about that, and the price that he'll have to pay for it.
Yep.
Right.
What it's leading to is about 100 years or more after he is dead and trapped in that blade, a young warrior who is again, a very quintessential character, the young, intrepid, a little bit naive character, gets her ass handed to her and finds this sword with a legendary hero's soul stuck in it. And if you can imagine, when you were a kid and your dad was teaching you to swing a bat, you'd hold the bat and he would put his hand over the top of your hand and show you how to swing it. Imagine you're in the thick of a battlefield and you hold a sword and you can't shake this sensation of someone else's hand over the top of yours, showing you just the right cut to take that guy's head off.
Right.
Nice.
That was the sparking idea behind the whole project, that sensation, and I created everything around that.
Oh.
Right. Okay. So you've got, so the story proper kind of takes off after this initial prequel.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the how did we get to the point where we have this sword with this figure trapped in it? And is it trapped? Is he trapped, or is it more of this is a willing thing, and it just ends up in the future that this is just the situation as it is? He's trapped. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Like any good story, poor dude just got trapped.
Yeah. He just got stuck. What are you gonna do?
He got stuck. It happens. Right. Okay. So, that's the story. That's what's up on Kickstarter at the moment. Do you want to tell us a little bit about because sometimes we miss these details because we get excited about the story and just lose, and questions get weird. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Kickstarter, what's on offer,
Yes.
what's available?
I've tried to keep it fairly simple. This is my first campaign. I don't want to over encumber it. I want to make sure that what backers ask for, they get. So I've kept it fairly simple. There's basically a PDF copy and a print copy, and then you have both of those for the original black and white version. So from the ash can of the black and white line work, lots of details have evolved, and I've redrawn, in some cases, entire pages have been redrawn before they're going into colors. So that's a really fun opportunity for you to look back and go, oh, this was like this before, and you completely changed it. I wonder why you changed it. Or this looks way cooler. I get why you changed that. So that's both the ash cans and the new colored prints will both be available in print and black and white.
Mm-hmm.
What am I saying? The Ashcan Black and White and the new colored version will both be available in print and PDF.
Right.
And there's multiple tiers for those. I don't have one to hand, but I have these really cool little enamel pins of the sword.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna get one. I've got them just over here.
Yeah, you go grab one.
And while I was doing that, I'll bring up some more art.
Yeah. Nice, eh?
Here we go. So these guys are freaking
wow, cool.
So they've got that really cool bronze finish and the little bind rune inlay on the blade. And this kind of this very kind of blocky, chunky style is the same way that they drew swords in the Viking period. You find this on coins stamped onto silver coins. You find it on stone carvings. So I did something that was quite authentic in style, but obviously modern.
Yep.
And we also have, what else is on there? There's some really cool art prints. It's a bit, the lighting's probably not great in here to see them at the moment, but I have some really cool images colored by an alternate colorist
Cool.
of a hero slaying a massive dragon and leading a horde of horse riders into battle. Those are really cool. So they're available on really high quality cotton rag archival paper in A4.
Cool. So everybody get in, take a look. Sheild Breaker on Kickstarter now. We've got...
Yep, I've just shared the link. So
just share the link. So we've got 7 days to go. So you've got 7 days to get in and back this puppy.
Time is running out, people. Time is running out.
Right.
So I will say from what obviously I've backed this campaign as soon as I saw it because it looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
And so one of the things about the art that I like is it does have that very authentic kind of feel and look and texture. It's not. There's from what I've seen, a really nice blend of kind of gritty blood, guts, that sort of thing, but it doesn't go too far. It just feels very authentic to that sort of storytelling and, very real and vivid, but also with these mythical elements coming in. So that's not a question. That's just me saying this is awesome. Thank you.
Where's the freaking question?
Yeah. So that's just me blowing wind up your skirt. But the question is, I suppose, why Vikings? What was the appeal? I mean, most people love them. I do as well. But what was the appeal for you of that kind of saga storytelling and Vikings and such?
So it started from about when I was 21, 22 maybe. I got involved in reenactment. I was with a group called the Army of Jomsborg, which is a group originally based in the UK that now has people everywhere from Australia to Texas, Poland, still in the UK.
Oh, he's popped out. He hit the wrong button.
Totally gone. He's either lost power or something. Well, here he is. He's back.
He's coming back in. He's coming back.
Sorry about that.
What happened there?
Oh, good.
The tab crashed. Just the tab. Just the tab.
Tab. Wow.
Yeah, just the tab.
So you're talking about reenactments. Yep.
Yeah.
UK.
I was involved in reenactment for a good 10 years. In fact, I realistically still am. The reason that I'm allowed to have these items is because I am still involved. But I just found that my life was getting a bit much and I wasn't able to do all the practical things that we did. We sewed all our clothes. We sewed our boots. And we would train with weapons regularly. We would do woodworking with replica woodworking tools from the period, for example. We did all kinds of stuff. And I just found that I wasn't having the time to express that interest in its original practical form. But I had all of this knowledge and all of these ideas that I wanted to find a way to express, and this is how it came out. And of course, every like authenticity enthusiast or reenactor who's seen things like Vikings, The Last Kingdom, pick something and name it, anything that's on film, that everyone cringes, and then everyone complains, and then everyone has to deal with their friends asking them why they don't like it. And so I wanted to provide something that was different, that had that authenticity to it. But the main reason, which is something that I realized, let's see if it's just dark, lights this room up a little bit, it's a bit better. The main reason that I found I wanted to do this story about Vikings was something that I realized in that submission process, which is when I say Vikings, everyone says yay, you know, and there's how many different sports teams called the Vikings. Everyone's like really enthusiastic about Vikings, and there's been these huge museum exhibits with the tagline, Vikings were more than just raiding barbarians. There were all these other things as well. And that's true. But what I found I really wanted to do with this story was kind of have a criticism, even an indictment of that enthusiasm. Because the truth is not Vikings were more than raiding barbarians. The truth is Norse medieval culture is so much more than just Vikings. So Viking is not a cultural word. It's a job word. I am a builder. I am a Viking. And you can be a Viking for your 20s. You can be a Viking for, thanks, Dave. You can be a Viking for one summer. You can be a Viking for one day. It's when you're doing that job of going a Viking, you are doing one specific thing, and that is not battle or war. It is sneaking up on a civilian population, attacking them with brutal violence for monetary gain. In other words, being a horrible person. So I wanted I wanted to have this conversation of like, hey man, you might as well have called your football team the Minnesota ISIS. But that's the same. That's how I was when I was 21. I was like, yay, Vikings, really cool. I was listening to Amon Amarth and Manowar all the time. And that's how I got involved in reenactment. But because I got involved in that and I learned so much more, I learned that this distinction between the job of going a Viking, and going a Viking is actually a horrible, horrible thing. But hey, that was my gateway to learning all these other really, really cool things about a past culture. And that's cool. That's really what I want to say with this story is, hey, this is a silly juvenile obsession we have, but that's okay because you can use that juvenile obsession if you allow it to be your gateway to learning and personal growth.
Right. So, and look, yeah, there's this thing around certainly Vikings, like you say, lots of other cultures and all that. If we've seen it in Hollywood for years and that's our exposure to it, that's how we know it. And we think, we're not thinking the Danes. We're just thinking Vikings and swords and killing and what fun. So so obviously that you have a real passion for. I want people to see more than that. I want them to see to get some of that authenticity across. And so it's kind of like it's like an educated sort of vibe that I'm getting, or sharing a passion, or
There's certainly an aspect of what I call passive education, which is I'm not here to give you a lecture. I'm here to tell you a cool story that you're going to really enjoy. But in the meantime, you might actually just pick up some random cool information because I told that story authentically.
Nice.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And ComX is a really interesting avenue for that. I think it's a really, because ComX has been so guilty in so many different areas of that same sort of very simplistic view of the world, but also so much depth in, you know, different areas, indie areas, as well as, you know, mainstream, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's really, really cool. Really, really interesting. So, you go.
For the viewers, the chapter of this story that's on Kickstarter right now is the kind of sucker you in chapter. It's the, like, if you wanted to see Vikings being yay fun Vikings, and you wanted to get that extra authentic edge and that exploration into mythology a little bit, this is your story. This is the cool story. If you want to have that other side of it that I just talked about, that there's more to this, then, you know, if you back this campaign and get this one really rolling and help me reach a bigger audience, then I've got a way better platform to tell that bigger story, which is a nice 4-issue mini series, which will give you, in the end of that, a great, like, 120-page trade paperback to really sink your teeth into. That's what we're really going at here. So get on board with backing this first chapter to make sure the whole thing comes to life.
Which answers my next question, which was going to be, where do you see this this going? We now know where you see this going.
Yeah.
You go.
So that's where 4 single issues, total of about 120 pages. Really nice, succinct chapters. Like, you could pick up one of those single issues and read it for its own story without seeing any of the others. Right. But if you read the whole thing, you're going to get a really good experience. It's not my intention to be self-publishing this long term. I really want to see this on an international label, so that you can go into your store wherever the hell you are, whether you're in London or South Africa or Iceland, you can go into your store and see this on a shelf. So again, getting on board with this Kickstarter helps me build that platform to be able to reach international publishers.
Cool. Awesome. Cool. So let's talk protagonists. Obviously, with what you've spoken about, I suppose there's more here than just, I think this sort of protagonist is really cool and I want to get that out there. It's more around the culture that you're trying to, you know, sort of weave into the story, or the story that you're, you know, using as a gateway to get to this expansive sort of culture. Tell us a little bit about the protagonists within the series. What kind of hero figures you're going for? What type of villainous figures you're going for, or circumstances? You know, what are the key things for those two kind of extremes that you really like about the story that you're telling?
Cool. So in this chapter, you're going to meet Uli, who is called the Sheild Breaker. So Uli is that, as I said before, the quintessential hero. He starts off as his king's best and bravest man, but he's just got that hubris of being obsessed with being the best ever. And he's that real kind of cocky character, like, hey, this looks really dangerous. We shouldn't do it. I'm sorry, did you say dangerous? Danger's my middle name. Let's do it.
Yeah, right.
And that's, of course, what gets him in trouble, because he doesn't think. He's the kind of guy who doesn't think before he leaps. He's like, all right, let's just do it. See what happens. Right. He gets involved with what's called a Galdraman, a wizard, basically. Galdr is song magic. So this is a very mysterious character. I introduce him as being already old when Uli's father was a boy, but then we see this juxtaposed image of a huge man with an old face but a very, very youthful body. So we're like, hang on, this is not natural. So this character was really cool to me because he was an expression of a mentor figure in my life at the time that I invented him. I had a coach. One of my MMA coaches was this really, really charismatic kind of character who got me into meditation and breath work, and talked about the way that different practices were connected And we did a lot of different types of conditioning training that was like, hey, you want to punch better? Well, let's get you a harder hand.
Right.
And that kind of fed into this. I wonder how much of this knowledge could have been in this historical environment, because we know that humans have been intentionally and intellectually training their bodies for centuries, millennia. So it's no big leap to think that, they knew that doing 100 push-ups a day would get you a bigger chest. To give you a very simplistic example. So this character was a love letter to my coach, and I really enjoyed creating him.
There you go. Does your coach know that?
No.
Is he aware?
No, probably not even watching this too.
There you go. Okay, so you've weaved a little bit of real life in there, which is always good.
I think we always do, don't we?
Yeah.
Like if you don't, you're doing bad writing. That's my thing. Yeah,
and I think it's unintentional, half the time, as much as it is intentional. Sometimes you just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you find is the most challenging thing about this whole process? Anything?
It's reaching out to people and building my audience. The reason I'm so good at this craft is because I'm a freaking introvert, man. Yeah. I like to sit here with my dogs and my work. And then my wife comes home and I hang out with her because she's my favorite person. I don't want to go out and talk to everybody about what I'm doing. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I need people to read it. Not only because I want to make some money, but because I've got something important to say. Only is I actually, this is a little bit egotistical perhaps, but I actually think that what I'm trying to say is beneficial to the world. And I would really like to share it with people.
No, that's cool.
And that's those two things are very. I mean, that's why we do what we do, and it's a very common struggle that we want to do the thing. We don't want to have to sell it. We want someone else can sell it. We just want to make the thing. We want to birth this amazing thing, and then people to come and say, "Yeah, this is awesome. Get into it." We don't want to have to appear on podcasts and all that sort of garbage.
Okay.
Garbage.
This avenue of reaching out is actually very enjoyable to me. This is fun.
Yeah.
But, posting on social media and contacting stores and trying to build mailing lists. And my wife gets so upset with me when I talk about it's not that I don't want to work hard. It's that I don't know what to do. Someone just show me what to do, and I will do it. So there's a mystery in how do I get more followers that people think they've cracked, and they'll try to sell you the secret.
And there's also this.
Thanks, Dave.
There's also this, as you say, there's a mystery to it, and it's very, very hard when you look at some of the bigger names that are bringing in big amounts of money and loads of followers and all that, and you think, how do you get to that? And there seems to be this chasm between where you're at and where all the people are at, and how do I reach them? We're all connected via the internet and everything else, but it still feels like, how the heck do I find the people that are going to respond to this thing that I've got?
Yeah,
it's a big problem. And then you've got the issue that there is so much stuff out there everywhere. So how do you cut through all that noise? Yeah,
it's like, do you remember in the show Daredevil, there's that huge hole in the ground under that building? Was that in Daredevil, or was that in the Defenders series?
When the explosion happened, or something else?
Before. Did they explode? Anyway, we know what we're talking about. There's this huge chasmy hole into the center of the earth, hidden under a building that like Daredevil goes and fights ninjas around.
Yeah.
It's like the internet is that hole. And there's all of us creators standing around the hole, shouting down into it, look at me! Look at me! No, look at me!
Yeah. If it were a deity that required sacrifice, and we knew what that sacrifice was, that would make it a hell of a lot easier. We could at least make a choice. All right, how many people have to die for this thing to work? But you
how many horses do I have to shoot?
Yeah, exactly. But no one knows. And it's and the other thing I find as well is that it's very hard to be patient, and it's very hard to look at guys and girls that have been doing this for 10, 20 years and think, oh, they spent a long time building this. It's very hard to be patient and realize, that it can take a long time.
Yes.
So I'm going to give Sizzle a warning that he's got a question coming up because,
I
it'll take him some time to think of something. So I wanted to just take a little bit of an aside. What at the moment, as you're, right in the thick of still creating but also promoting, what are you listening to, reading, watching? Where do you get inspiration from creatively?
Cool. I'll start off with one really good one. A big shout out to I believe he's Swedish, archaeologist Ari Tergo. His work has been so influential to me. He is a currently active archaeologist and I believe university professor. So this is one thing I do. Like, I'm good at looking for people whose information will be reliable. I listen to a lot of his YouTube lectures. So if this stuff is something that interests you, he's so good. So he's a currently active archaeologist. So I know that the information he's talking about is coming from a reliable source. And he is, he is very focused on spiritual work. So he talks at length about what he has uncovered and surmised about religious practices of that era. And he's influenced my work greatly. Right. There's leading up, like a long time ago, I was checking out a lot of other amateur history podcasters on YouTube. I'm a huge fan of Matt Easton. He's an arms and armor historian. Talks a lot about fighting techniques, and he talks about it in the context of the weapons and the armor and how they work. And so you want to work with, against, and around these different features. So Matt Easton of Schola Gladiatoria is a great one. I'm a huge fan of Dave from London Longsword Academy. He's a champ. Great guy. He's been really receptive to my interactions with him, and his knowledge is boundless. He's fantastic. Music. I was listening to like some neo-pagan kind of reenacted music. People who are using authentic
like
period instruments and creating new music. Vajruna and Halem are two very famous ones in that genre. But I've moved on. I'm really into Mongolian folk rock at the moment.
Of course you are.
Cool.
That's logical.
There's a band called the Who and Hunkai. They are just phenomenal groups. Their music is so evocative, and it really, really sucks you in to this aural landscape that they create, and it is so much fun.
Oh, awesome.
All right. So now I have to look up Mongolian folk rock.
Yes, you do. You do so much.
Oh, damn it. It's another sinkhole to get sucked into.
Hankai, Hangai.
All right.
And then you can get into Japanese stoner rock. Damn, it's good.
Wow.
Write this down. Ningenisu. Ningenisu. Like this front man, he looks like your dentist. He's this short, slender old man with a silver mustache, but he's dressed in very traditional kimono and hakama. And he's playing this cherry red SG, and he just shreds. And they're heavy. They are heavy.
That's so cool.
Oh, well, that's my my next few days done.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have so much fun.
Sizzle, would you like to ask a question?
Would I like to ask a question? Well, I've got a list here, and you seem to have asked all of them. So I'm going to go for something technical.
My question answering sword.
Oh, well, that was going to be one of my questions. So don't steal that one, Sizzle.
I get a sword.
You do.
All right.
Look at that.
Well, my question is a technical one.
All right, hit me.
It's about we've talked about all the aspects of the story and so forth, but I'm curious how this is like. I've looked at your Kickstarter, and it's a good Kickstarter. I'm curious, did you like research other Kickstarters first? Did you do a course? Because I've heard they're out there. Did you just read up on it? YouTube? How did you put together this? Or is that from that process of pitching your book to publishers? Is that how you got?
In a multiple choice question, what is D? All of the above.
All of the above, okay. There we go.
So,
I answered the question for you. Sorry about that.
in varying amounts. So there was one really cool YouTube lesson. I cannot remember where it was or who sent it to me on like how to have a successful Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
And I learned some cool stuff from that, but I didn't actually implement most of that knowledge. Designing my campaign, what it looks like. I pretty much looked at other campaigns, found ones that I thought looked cool, and copied them. Just blatantly copied them. That's how I learned to draw. So why not learn to do it with everything else? Sean Keenan of Comics to Movies has been a great mentor in that aspect. He gave me a lot of great information.
He's got a lot of experience with Kickstarter, so yeah, a good person to have as a mentor. Yes,
that he does. He's just a good dude. He's just a solid dude in the Australian comics community.
Yep.
I didn't do any lead up to my campaign. Was another thing. One of the things that everyone said was have a solid lead up. Have your mailing lists started a month before you plan to launch, and have everybody worded up consistently before you launch. I didn't do that. I went on Sean's podcast and I said, "Hey everybody, I'm launching this tomorrow. Go fund me." And then they gave me the advice of finding appropriately themed Facebook groups and posting there. And that was great. The reenactment community was super supportive. I think it's because they hadn't seen anything like this before. And when you do justice to something that someone is passionate about, they really just get on board, because you're respecting them. Yeah, Halo are a good band. I think I know either someone who works very closely with them, or is she a member now? That's a weird connection. I'm pretty sure she's singing in Halo now.
Oh, no way.
She's a lovely person. We're very good friends. I mean, I think we are still friends. Pretty sure we're still friends. But when they live on the opposite side of the world, you don't talk to them very often. You try.
It's hard to tell.
All right. So we are getting to the penultimate question
Oh my
of
gosh,
the night.
that's kind of sad.
You can pick any hero or villain from Sheild Breaker.
Oof.
You're going through McDonald's drive-through. They're in the back seat of the car. What are they ordering?
What are they ordering? Okay, so to get everybody excited about the works to come next, I'm picking Hoskuld Jarl. He is the villain.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
He's a big bad boy. He's a very I'm descended from kings. I should be a king. Where's my freaking crown? Kind of guy.
Yep.
And he is ruthless. He is ordering all of the meat. What's their burger with the most meat on it? All right, give me 3 of those. Do I want fries? Yes, I want some fries. And a thick shake. The hell's wrong with you? 2 thick shakes. And a McFlurry. Now. Why am I waiting?
Awesome.
Very good. Very good. That'll do it.
I like that. That was fun.
And then before we get to the gifting, which is
there's a gift
part
on the
of
show.
Part of what we do in the show. Don't get too excited. Keep those expectations super low.
And now I'll give you this gift.
Yeah. This is you at this moment in time. Doesn't need to be for all time.
Yeah.
Your favorite movie, eating your favorite food. What does that combination look like at the moment?
Dude, easy.
Yeah.
Tombstone.
You're eating Tombstone? No.
No, I'm watching Tombstone. Everyone is in that movie. Man, Kurt Russell with the mustache.
Yeah.
And his brothers, Bill Paxton and Sam Elliott. And then you got Hicks and Hudson in the same movie, and they're on the opposite sides of the fence, and they hate each other. And Val Kilmer with the cup. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Tombstone is one of the best Western movies of all time, and it's such a great film. Like I loved Wyatt Earp's motivation of trying to keep his brothers out of trouble. Like at the start of that movie, his persona was, in my time as a lawman, I have killed one man, and it made me so sick to my stomach. I do not want my brothers to have to go through that. And then his brothers get attacked. One of his brothers dies, and he turns into a ruthless machine. I love Tombstone. It is a fantastic movie. It is an excellent piece of storytelling, and it's just so much fun. What am I eating? There's a really cool burger place around the corner from my place. So I'm getting like a double beef, double bacon, double cheese with some pineapple, and we got fried chicken on the side and some fries. I'm drinking a gin and ginger ale with lime.
Nice.
Oh, nice. To cut through all of that meat and fat.
Yeah.
Slice through it.
I didn't even mention what I did before starting the movie to get that appetite. I don't know if we should mention things like that on such a family-friendly podcast.
Well, it's hard to say yes without knowing what the answer is going to be. But let's just move on to the gifting phase then.
Well, what I'm going to do is I've given out the link. The link only goes to certain places. We're being broadcast to more places than the link can go to because of rules to do social media. So what I'll do is I'll put this link up for people to look at. What this link takes you to is the latest Australian Kickstarters. And Sheild Breaker is one of them. So that's a nice, easy way to find Sheild Breaker. I believe he's on the second row at the moment, or maybe the first row. I can't remember. But Depends how big your screen is, I guess, which row you're on. And yeah, so go there. Now let's go to the gifting, and I shall go to the pictures. And shall I go first, or shall you go first, my friend?
You go first, buddy. I know
I'll
what
go
mine
first?
looks like, so you go first. Yeah.
Okay, and which one's mine? Oh, that's mine. I'll give it
So
that.
before we do that, Mickey, because you might not know, so we do it's like a 5-minute drawing challenge where we pick a character from your creation and we draw it and we sign it, and it's amazing, but not really good. But yeah, and that's our gift. Then we send you a digital version of that because that's our gift to you.
That's so lovely.
So
You
I'm going
haven't seen
first,
it yet.
apparently. So here is Sizzle's gift to Mickey.
Yeah, boy.
Nice.
Naked as he always should be.
Dude, there is no, what did we say, 10 minutes? Was that 10 minutes? There's
Yes,
pencil
there is.
underneath there, bro.
There's pencil underneath. I did cheat. There is pencil underneath.
Oh, man. Look at them
Cheating
abs.
is part of the game. Cheating is just winning harder.
Man, I need to win harder. I did not use any pencils or anything. I just went right in as thick and as hard as I
Yours
could.
are awesome, though. I've looked at yours. So we go to the next one?
Yeah, all right. Let's do it.
Hardcore.
Manspear.
Manspear. And I realized as I wrote Manspear that the whole story is about a sword, not the spear. But it was too late. So I thought, oh, well, there you go.
It's written, it's down. It's beautiful.
I thought you were going to say that Manspear was a really good euphemism.
yeah, exactly. There you go. So they're coming your way.
Oh, we got some
Do with them as you wish.
No, I really like that. That was so lovely.
Oh, yes. I get 2 comments.
Well, yeah, see, that yours looked good, bro. It had definition.
I'm telling you, man. That's how you win harder.
Thank you for the sympathy vote, Dave. I know what it was. I saw it when I was writing it. It's not great. But anyway, that's all right. I'll try better. Cool. Well, thank you, Mickey. It's been great chatting with you. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Now all the
Thank
sympathy
you so
coming
much.
in. Yeah, been great chatting with you. Thank you so much. Get in, everyone. Support the campaign and help another awesome indie Aussie creator. And we will move on to the next phase and
just post that again if anyone missed it. Oh, how my enter's not working. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's the link. Cool. Sheild Breaker.
Right on. Thank you so much, guys.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, viewers.
Indeed.
Cool. So, and I will go to the right window so I can actually do this properly. Oh, dear. Shane. Okay, see you, Mickey.
See you, Mickey. I'm going to have
I'll do that properly.
I'm going to have a costume change.
Taking the hat off. This must be serious.
Oh, it's hot. All that talk of swords and sorcery and stuff. It's made me heat my head. I don't know. No, that's a bad way to say stuff.
Yeah.
All right, bro. You going first or am I going first?
I'll go first if you want.
You go.
Okay, so what I read today was, and I'll bring this up so people can see it. This is a Kickstarter that happened. I can't remember when actually. I almost removed myself then. Awaken, Volume 1. Bit of a glare there. Okay.
Nice. Is it black and white or color?
It is color, my friend. Beautiful, glorious color.
With a manga-ish kind of vibe?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'll just almost remove myself again. I keep going to press that button that says remove.
Don't remove yourself, bro. Don't do that. Then I got to drive. I don't want to drive.
And the artist, if my eyes will focus, man, I need glasses. Oh, hang on. I'm confused now. Illustrations by Chris Burr, I think that's pronounced. Beautiful art by Chris. And our friend Stephen Cock, Mr. SK, did the lettering. Ooh.
Nice.
friend of the show. That's just why I was saying his name.
Yeah. SK.
But yes, Oliver and William are the writers. They're the guys that were behind the Kickstarter. I've spoken to them a few times. Really nice fellows, and this is a really cool story. It came with a lot of goodies as well, but they're all over there. This, and I don't usually buy the goodies. I usually just want the comics. So those goodies just came as default. So that was pretty cool. Lots of stickers, cards, even a badge, if I remember correctly. Yeah, a badge. I got this little bird thing.
Nice.
Anyway, the comic itself. Great story. It's a bit of a cautionary tale. It's about how we screw up the planet and how the people of the future survive that particular screwing up of the planet. And when I say screwing up of the planet, this isn't really a spoiler because it happens in the first couple of pages. Where is it? I want to show this because I love this picture. Oh, here. See if I can get that right up against the screen, the right page. Can you see the Earth exploding there?
I can.
That's a new level of stuffing up the planet that
you're not coming back from that.
You're not coming back from that. That little glowy thing in front of it, that's what's left of humanity.
Oh, nice.
That's what's left of humanity because we totally screwed things up. So they make it quite plain that it's our fault. So there's war, there's climate change, there's all that garbage all happens at once and it just screws the planet. And that's how it starts, but the story itself is about just the normal day life in this weird orb thing that the survivors of the planet are in. And they sort of hint that there's something going on with some effect, but they don't really explain any of it. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's really interesting to read. You get to know the characters. It's a lot of fun. And then you're like, oh, wow, I really can't wait till the next one to find out what they were hinting at here. What was that all about? So I would spoil it, but I can't because I don't know what it's about. Something to do with crystals. That's all I know.
Crystals, man. Crystals and science magic.
But yeah, it's a cool story. So Oliver and William did a great job. And who did I say did the art again? Chris Burr. Great art. Nice, smooth art. The colors are great too. Thank you, colorist. I'm not going to put the book up again or else we're going to be sitting here forever talking about this book. So over to you, Morgan.
Thank you very much, sir. So I'm talking about something which was another Kickstarter that was on a while ago, a couple of months ago, I think.
Hey, we should also talk to each other before the show to make sure we're not doing the same book. I just realized that when you said this was a Kickstarter as well, I went, what if we did the same book one night?
That's all right. If you go first, I'll just change whatever I'm doing because I can roll like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This was by Mr. Gary Proudly, Plato's Allegory of the Cave. This was on a little while ago. Remember that one?
I haven't had a chance to read that one yet. I've got it, but I haven't had a chance to read it. Sounds really cool.
Reading through. So this was really, really interesting for a couple of reasons. Really, really cool, really clean, crisp artwork. And the way the figures are kind of laid out throughout the story has a very it's very sympathetic to allegory and that sort of style of storytelling through philosophy and, you know, all of that sort of stuff. So it was put together very well for this style or this genre of comic. I love the idea because it's educational, which is always good. It's a classic philosophical premise. And it was really nice going through this translated version of it. And just really clear the way it explains. So this is a great sort of tool if you're in school and you need to learn this stuff and you don't want to dig too deeply initially, you know, really good introduction to the, you know, Plato and a lot of those philosophical concepts. Really well put together, easy to read, the sort of thing that would sort of stick in your mind if you're wanting to learn this stuff. I should probably mention, so Gary was the writer, obviously. Illustrations by Mitchell Collins and lettering by Wolfgang Bailsma. Sorry if I'm wrecking your name. So I would. So that was a Kickstarter. It's still, you can still see it on Kickstarter, and then find a link from there. I think I'm not sure where it's available at the moment, but yeah, that was really, really good. Great read, and it brought back a lot of memories from when I was at the university, and learning very lofty ideas that I have since forgotten.
Nice. That's what university is for. Forgetting.
I have many books that I have not read, and many books that I've said I've read that I did not read. But I did read some, so back off, world. Yeah, so that was really cool. That was really good. So that's pretty much it for me. I will just say, I have found, no, I've not found, I have created a loophole in this little number. My Shadow's Daughter campaign, you may not have heard about it because I haven't been talking about it at every single occasion for the last, what feels like months. So the Shadow's Daughter campaign is on now 6 issues. It's actually 8 issues, or it will be with a couple more backers. So there's 2 additional issues that are coming through. There's a bit of a loophole. If you're an Aussie, if you back anything, doesn't matter how little, if you put anything on there, you will get 1 free comic immediately. And you will get the 2 bonus digital comics immediately. So 3 digital comics. If you put $1 on this thing, it's a loophole, people. It's the bargain of the century.
We love loopholes.
But also, if you would like to back it, please get in there, back it for anything that you can. Spread the word by all means. It's a great, fun series. I was actually editing some of the books today, and they're just really good and fun. The artwork's amazing. 2 colors, color comics, 6 black and white comics. And we're actually going to be looking at this stuff on Friday at Drink and Draw. We're going to be drawing Shadow's Daughter, and I'm announcing it here. I am going to draw a character from the series as well.
Oh,
it may be available as a something that people can win. I don't know yet how it's going to happen. It's going to look horrible against all of these amazing artists, and I'm going to be scribbling my chicken scratch stuff on there, but I'm going to give it a go. I'm inspired by you artist types. Anyway, that's me done. Thank you very much for shameless plug number 583.
Oh, shameless plug. You got nothing on me. I'm going.
I learned from the best.
100% shameless plug. I am going the video.
Oh. You see, this is where all my money goes to stuff like this, because it's awesome. Well, that one is what is it? Goal reached.
Our goal has just been reached, but we want to get that first stretch goal. We want those prints. We want to give them out to people.
What's the stretch goal where you were like we take a photo of you in a bikini or something and it goes on a calendar? I can't remember. What was that one? The bikini, the sizzle bikini.
I'll be impressed if we make it to the bikini stretch goal. I will be impressed.
People need to get in and back.
If people back and get us up to the 5,000 mark, I will get in a bikini and I will make that calendar.
Yes, and I will help.
So yes, that's presents.comx.studio. We have, I think it's 9 days left on the campaign. Last time I checked, it was so many pictures to scroll through. I did. There it is. I'm just blind. That's where we were last time. So yeah, 9 days to go. I thought so. Look at that number. We are evil. We need to get it out of the evil people.
1666.
666.
Yeah, man. It's too many sixes.
Too many sixes. Come on, people. We need some fives. We need 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 to get that bikini. I need money to get that waxing. Come on, people.
Live air waxing. That would be great. What a treat.
Oh.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
No, I can't. I'd rather not. I'm trying to keep that out of my mind. Although Dan seems to think it's good. I don't know. I think he might be talking about something else.
People want to see skimpy outfits these days. Sex sells, man. You
Sex
know,
sells.
that's what I've heard.
I got the boobies.
So we can add that into the campaign at any time. It's great.
And just to do another shameless plug while I'm here, and I'm going into the wrong area. Why do I keep doing that? Almost the same link. There's another one by ComX Studio at the moment. Bin Kitty.
Yes.
Who hasn't reached her goal, I should say. Bin Kitty's a her. Go check out binkitty.comx.studio, and yeah, that is some beautiful art and some awesome storytelling by Duncan Prenovicius. So don't. I'll be doing the video for it next week because we're probably going way over time already. And check it out. Sweet. You'll love it. Trust me. And back.
I think Dan just really wants you in a bikini. I think that's the message I'm hearing.
That's the message I'm getting as well. That's so good. It's funded. Okay.
Yeah. But get in and back Bin Kitty. It's awesome. Awesome.
Whoa,
I have no money left.
Doing some sit-ups. Getting ready for this bikini. This I wasn't prepared for, that you've put me in a corner here. Thank you, Peter Lane.
Yeah. It's all good.
Excellent, people. So we're looking for the 5 5s. If I get up to that,
bikini shop
calendar. Everyone in the thing gets a bikini calendar of me. 12 different bikinis.
12 different poses, 12 months.
12 months.
Amazing.
All sizzle. A year of sizzle.
More sizzle than you can handle.
Yes, that I can handle.
Yeah.
Oh, shiver up my spine. Well, I think that's us for the night. Anything else you want to talk about, Morgan?
That's me. All done.
All done. Well, in that case, people, I will say good night. Thank you for joining us. Same time next week, same channel. I'm not going to try to do the other thing because I always stuff it up. So let's just go.